After Mark finally kills Conquest and is pushed to the brink of death, Nolan and Oliver discover him lying on the ground with his guts hanging out. Yet even after everything Conquest did, Nolan still chooses to bury his body. Oliver asks why he would bother doing that after all he's done. Nolan explains that even though Conquest lost his way, he was one of the greatest Viltrumite warriors. Everything he did was for the Empire, and he deserves a proper burial. They then return to Mark, who is still in a terrible condition. Nolan has already used his cape to cover his stomach and hold him together. He tells Oliver they'll need to stay with Mark until his Viltrumite DNA heals him, which takes months, but that will give Nolan time to get to know Oliver better. Nolan starts hunting giant bugs for dinner, but Oliver is disgusted and refuses to eat them at first. Eventually, hunger wins, and he gives in, ending up liking it so much that he asks for more. This becomes the time where Nolan and Oliver truly bond as father and son. After a whole month passes, Mark is still unconscious. Oliver takes care of him, keeping him hydrated. Then he asks Nolan if he really loved Debbie. Nolan finally opens up, admitting that he did, even if it took him a long time to realize it. He talks about his regrets, the destruction he caused, and how close he came to killing Mark, but he felt devastated and realized he was wrong. But by then, it was already too late. As time passes, the bond between father and son grows stronger, and Nolan begins training Oliver. Then one day, Mark speaks for the first time saying, "I'll kill you." He had been dreaming about Conquest for months. Later, while Oliver and Nolan are out, he senses something and rushes back to camp, where he finds Mark awake and scared. Mark immediately asks where Conquest is and whether Nolan killed him, but Nolan and Oliver proudly tell him that he defeated Conquest himself. Mark is relieved, but also confused. He can't understand how he managed to do it when he was so afraid. Nolan explains that Mark fought with peak rage and adrenaline, which gave him the edge. Even so, Mark isn't happy about killing again. Nolan reminds him that this is war, and that they'll have to rejoin the fight soon.